How did people erase before erasers? With bread. Before erasers were invented in the 19th century, people used bread to erase pencil marks. Yes, fresh bread, gently pressed against the paper, could erase unwanted marks. Imagine what your desk would look like if you had to nibble away at your mistakes with a piece of bread. Fortunately, progress has given us erasers that solve this problem without extra calories. As you can see, bread isn't just for eating, it's also a writing tool. Can you imagine that Cleopatra, the famous queen of Egypt, wasn't Egyptian by birth? Cleopatra VII, the last ruler of ancient Egypt, was born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, which was of Macedonian and Greek descent. She was the first in her family to learn the Egyptian language and adopt local customs, making her a unique figure in history. This queen, who blended cultures and identities, seems to have stepped right out of legend, connecting ancient civilizations and shaping her own remarkable story. Do you think hot water freezes faster than cold? It is a common misconception. Although it sometimes seems like hot water freezes faster, cold water usually freezes faster under most circumstances. This is because cold water is already closer to the freezing point. However, there is a mysterious phenomenon known as the Mpemba effect, which sometimes causes hot water to freeze faster. Scientists are still debating how exactly this effect works, and its mechanisms remain a mystery. But if you need ice quickly, it is better to start with cold water. Imagine for a moment that Alaska was once part of Russia. Today, Alaska, one of the harshest and most remote states in the US, was formerly a part of the Russian Empire. It was sold to the United States in 1867 for a record-breaking $7.2 million. Alaska is not only one of the northernmost states, but also has the longest coastline in the US, stretching over 10,000 kilometers. The region has a challenging climate that makes it unique and markedly different from the rest of the country, while remaining an important strategic and natural resource. Did you know you might have been answering the phone with ahoy? In the early days of the telephone, when Alexander Graham Bell introduced his invention, he suggested using ahoy as a greeting when answering calls. Inspired by nautical language, Bell thought it would be a perfect fit for the new way of communicating. Imagine if his idea caught on. We would all be saying ahoy every time we picked up the phone. However, Thomas Edison suggested the word hello, and it became the standard, leaving ahoy as a quirky piece of history. Did you know that Hattie McDaniel made Oscar history? In 1940, this remarkable actress became the first African-American woman to win an Academy Award, specifically for her performance as Mammy in the epic film Gone with the Wind. Hattie's win was groundbreaking, not just for her career, but for the representation of African Americans in Hollywood during a time of significant racial discrimination. The ceremony took place in Los Angeles, and despite the segregated environment of the time, she delivered a heartfelt acceptance speech that resonated with many. McDaniel's achievement paved the way for future generations of actors and actresses of color, showing them that success in the film industry was possible. Surprisingly, her landmark win came at a moment when roles for Black artists were often limited to stereotypes. Yet Hattie managed to shine through her talent and determination. Today, we celebrate her legacy and the doors she opened for others in film. How can we continue to honor her contributions to cinema and fight for greater diversity in Hollywood? Can you believe hermit crabs run housing chains? Hermit crabs don't grow their own shells. They borrow them from dead snails. But as they grow, they need to upgrade. That's when the magic happens. A hermit crab in search of a bigger shell triggers a social chain reaction. Other crabs gather, each waiting for the right size vacancy. When the first crab finds a new shell and moves in, the next smallest one quickly grabs the vacated home, and so on down the line. This synchronized shell swap may involve dozens of participants. It's efficient, peaceful, and incredibly organized. Despite being solitary by nature, hermit crabs exhibit a surprisingly social behavior when it comes to real estate. A lesson in community resource sharing without any fuss. The first item ever sold on eBay was a broken laser pointer. In 1995, eBay founder Pierre Omidyar listed a broken laser pointer as a test for his new platform. Surprisingly, It was bought by a collector of broken laser pointers for $14.83. This unexpected success demonstrated the potential of online commerce, showing that even seemingly useless items could find a buyer. Who would have thought that a broken object would change the world of online sales forever? Owls don't just see, they mesmerize. Owls don't have typical eyeballs. Instead, they have specialized tubular eyes. This unique adaptation allows them to keep their eyes fixed, giving them exceptional binocular vision and the ability to rotate their heads almost 270 degrees. Thanks to this, owls become masters of nighttime hunting, detecting even the slightest movements in complete darkness. Their eyes are more than just organs of sight. They are powerful tools that make them incredible hunters. And every time they turn their heads, it's like witnessing nature's magic in action. Ever heard of Snake Island's deadly inhabitants? This Brazilian island, known as Ilha da Queimada Grande, is infamous for being home to the world's most venomous snake, the golden lancehead viper, or Bothrops insularis. Imagine a place where one snake can deliver a venom so potent that it can kill a human in just a few hours. That's why Brazilian authorities made the tough decision to ban access to the island, preserving both the safety of people and the unique ecosystem of these snakes. The golden lancehead is not only fascinating because of its deadly bite, but also due to its incredible adaptation. Over thousands of years, these vipers evolved in isolation, leading to distinctive traits unlike any other snake species. They primarily feed on the island's bird population, a meal made easy by their rapid and efficient hunting skills. So while the island is a dangerous spot for humans, it's a crucial habitat that highlights the importance of biodiversity and the delicate balance of nature. Visiting Snake Island is like stepping into a real-life thriller, but for now, only the snakes get to enjoy its unnerving beauty. Have you ever thought about how whales sing underwater? Whales produce sounds that can be heard hundreds of kilometers away underwater. These sounds help them communicate and find mates, even across vast distances. Whale songs can last for hours, and each one is unique, like a fingerprint. These songs change over the years, making them not just a means of communication, but also a form of cultural heritage passed down through generations. It's hard to believe, but balancing barnacles glue better than superglue. These humble sea creatures are master chemists. Barnacles secrete a natural underwater adhesive made from complex protein polymers and calcium, which instantly hardens in salt water. Their glue can bind to almost any surface, metal, rock, or shell, and remains stable in high-pressure, turbulent environments. Lab tests show their cement has bonding strength up to 14 MPa, surpassing many industrial adhesives. Unlike superglue, it's eco-friendly, biodegradable, and works flawlessly underwater. Scientists are studying its structure to develop medical-grade sealants and underwater construction adhesives. Evolution refined this formula over millions of years, solving engineering problems that still challenge human scientists. It's one of the most perfect examples of nature outperforming industry with sustainable brilliance. Did you know there's a fort made entirely of coral? Fort Jefferson, located on dry Tortugas Island in Florida, is one of the largest structures made of coral blocks. Construction began in 1846 and continued for more than 30 years. This fort served as an important strategic defense point for the U.S. coastline, but it's also famous for being built almost entirely out of coral reefs. Now it's a national park and a popular tourist attraction. Did you know the world's largest crossword puzzle has over 66,000 squares? In 2015, Japanese puzzle master Nomio created the world's largest crossword puzzle. This gigantic puzzle boasts 66,666 clues and 93,700 squares. It took 4 years to complete and was displayed in a Japanese shopping mall. Today it's preserved in a book form, giving puzzle lovers a chance to marvel at this monumental brain teaser. Who would have thought that quacas always look happy? The quacca's viral fame stems from its irresistibly cheerful expression, a wide-eyed, open-mouthed smile that melts hearts online. But behind the grin is biology, not joy. Their facial structure naturally forms a pleasant look, regardless of mood. That said, quokkas truly are more sociable than most wild animals. Native to predator-free islands in Australia, they've evolved without the instinct to fear humans. Over generations, their willingness to approach people brought food rewards, favoring the survival of friendly individuals. As a result, modern quokkas are bold, curious, and often interact directly with tourists. Their behavior is a case study in how evolutionary pressures, not emotions, can shape the friendliness of a species. So next time you see a quokka selfie, remember, it's not smiling for the camera. It's thriving thanks to a perfect mix of charm and adaptation. Imagine for a moment that goats have panoramic vision. Goats are known for their fearless climbing on steep cliffs, but their eyes play a huge role in that daring agility. Unlike humans' round pupils, goats have rectangular, horizontal pupils that provide a panoramic 320-degree field of vision. This allows them to detect movement from virtually all directions without turning their heads. Even more amazing, their eyes rotate independently to keep the horizontal plane steady as they move over uneven terrain. It's like having a built-in stabilizer and wide-angle lens. This adaptation gives goats confidence to traverse high-altitude ledges where predators lurk and where a single misstep can be fatal. It's not just strong legs that keep goats safe, it's their extraordinary eyes evolved for balance, survival, and a constant view of everything around them. Here's something incredible about newborn deer. When fawns make their entrance into the world, they come with a remarkable adaptation. They lack any scent. This unique feature is a clever survival tactic that helps keep them hidden from predators such as wolves and bears. Imagine being a tiny, helpless fawn lying still in the grass, blending in perfectly with your surroundings while nature plays its game of hide and seek. Most animals rely on their sense of smell to find their food, and without a scent, fawns are like invisible little ninjas in the wild. Their mothers know the importance of this survival strategy, often leaving their young in a safe spot while they venture off to graze. This way, the fawn stays hidden and safe from danger. But it doesn't stop there. As they grow, fawns begin to develop their own scent, which helps them bond with their mothers and eventually learn the ways of the forest. So next time you see a young deer, remember their survival is a combination of cleverness and the wonders of nature. Why does Sweden have one of the strangest museums in the world? In Stockholm, there is the Museum of Failure, where you can find exhibits of failed inventions, products, and services that did not meet expectations. For example, you can see Coca-Cola with a coffee flavor, strange household gadgets, and even video games that flopped. The creators of the museum believe that we learn from mistakes and that failure is an essential part of any discovery. Visitors often marvel at how bizarre some ideas can be and how far people go in their pursuit of innovation. This museum has become a place where you can laugh at the past and rethink what success means. Why don't newborns cry tears? Newborn babies can cry, but they don't shed tears. How is that possible? Their tear glands are not fully developed. In fact, it can take several weeks for newborns to start crying with tears. So while babies can loudly express their dissatisfaction, you won't see real tears until sometime after birth. This is one of the little wonders that happen in the first weeks of a baby's life. Is it possible? There's blue fire on volcanoes. On the island of Java, Indonesia, stands the Aegean volcano, famous for its unique natural phenomenon, blue fire. This extraordinary sight is caused by the high concentration of sulfur in volcanic gases, which ignites upon contact with the air, producing a bright blue flame. This blue fire can only be seen at night, creating a breathtaking and almost mystical display. Tourists from all over the world travel here to witness this rare phenomenon that cannot be seen anywhere else. Why was Stonehenge really built? The mystery of Stonehenge has puzzled scientists for centuries. One theory suggests it was an ancient astronomical structure used to observe celestial events. Research shows that Stonehenge was aligned with the summer and winter solstices. Another hypothesis proposes that it was a place of healing or a ritual complex. Despite numerous theories, the true purpose of this ancient monument remains a mystery. What if I told you about Dubai's stunning floral wonderland? The Miracle Garden in Dubai isn't just any garden, it's the largest flower garden in the entire world. Home to a breathtaking 150 million flowers, this vibrant oasis bursts with color and creativity. Each bloom is artfully arranged into jaw-dropping designs, making it feel like stepping into a fairy tale. The garden opens its doors each year from November to April, welcoming visitors eager to bask in its beauty during the cooler months. Among its many attractions, you can stroll through a whimsical flower tunnel that wraps petals around you like a floral embrace, or admire the incredible floral castle that looks like something straight out of a storybook. Truly, every corner of the Miracle Garden tells a different tale through flowers, showcasing imaginative displays that change each season. Whether you're a nature lover, a photographer seeking stunning shots, or simply looking for a unique day out, this garden is a must-visit gem that brings joy and wonder to everyone who steps inside. Sperm whales, the loudest creatures on Earth. Sperm whales are underwater sound machines. They produce clicks and vocalizations that can reach up to 230 decibels. That's several times louder than a jet engine. These sounds help sperm whales communicate over vast distances and navigate the ocean depths. They use them like sonar to hunt giant squid at depths of over 1,000 meters. These clicks are so powerful that they can even stun their prey from a distance. Imagine if humans had similar abilities. We could communicate across entire oceans. The legend of the cookie, how Nestle got the recipe in exchange for chocolate. We all love chocolate chip cookies, but do you know how they became so popular? In the 1930s, Ruth Wakefield invented the famous Toll House chocolate chip cookie, but she didn't sell the recipe to Nestle. Instead, Ruth made a deal where Nestle would print her recipe on their chocolate bars, and in return, she received a lifetime supply of chocolate. That's how chocolate chip cookies became a worldwide favorite, and Ruth Wakefield's name went down in culinary history. Did you know that Hawaii is home to the tallest mountain peak in the world? Although Mount Everest is the highest point on land, when considering the underwater portion of the Mauna Kea volcano, it is 1.9 kilometers taller. Mauna Kea is a submarine volcano that begins on the ocean floor and rises nearly 10 kilometers upwards. From its summit, there are breathtaking views, and this volcano is regarded not only as a geographical wonder, but also as sacred by the local Hawaiians. Mauna Kea attracts the attention of scientists and tourists from around the globe, as its grandeur inspires admiration and respect. The United States is undoubtedly a country of immigrants. Each year, over 1 million people arrive, making it one of the most attractive places to live. In the late 19th century, the largest number of immigrants came from Europe, while today 70% of the immigration flow consists of residents from Asia and Latin America. Mexicans make up the majority of this flow, with over 11 million people, followed by Indians, about 2.7 million, and Chinese, nearly 2.3 million. This cultural diversity in the U.S. is certainly one of the reasons for its success, as the country continues to integrate the traditions and talents of various peoples, creating a unique multicultural society. Where do you think the largest Chinatowns in the world are located? They are, of course, San Francisco and Manhattan in New York City. These areas have become centers of life and culture for Chinese immigrants, featuring numerous restaurants, shops, and cultural events. New York is also known for Brighton Beach, a compact neighborhood primarily inhabited by immigrants from the former USSR. This is one of the most vibrant and culturally rich communities in the U.S., home to around 80,000 people, creating a unique atmosphere for new generations and tourists. The rarest zebra in the world, spots instead of stripes. In Kenya, an incredible zebra was once spotted with spots instead of the usual stripes. This rare phenomenon occurred due to a genetic mutation that literally transformed our understanding of what zebras look like. This unusual zebra attracted great attention from conservationists and biologists, as such deviations are rare and require special attention to preserve the species. It's not every day you see a zebra with spots instead of stripes. Why did Finland create hedgehog robots for cleaning parks? In Tampere, one of Finland's most eco-conscious cities, Robots that look like hedgehogs were invented to collect litter in parks. These adorable devices are equipped with sensors that help them locate and pick up trash. The hedgehog robots not only help keep the parks clean, but also bring joy to park visitors who can watch the little robots at work. Can you believe that the electric chair was actually invented by a dentist? Believe it or not, the electric chair, one of the most infamous devices in history, was conceived by Alfred P. Southwick, a dentist. Southwick designed the electric chair in the late 19th century as a more humane alternative to hanging. This shocking invention forever changed the history of capital punishment. It's almost ironic to think that a person dedicated to caring for people's teeth would create such a grim device. Did you know that the first blogs appeared just a quarter of a century ago? It's hard to imagine the internet without blogs today. But did you know the first use of the word blog was recorded only in 1997? The term was a contraction of weblog, literally meaning internet diary. Back then, blogs were simple online journals where people shared their thoughts and experiences. However, as with everything on the internet, blogs evolved. Today, they cover everything from personal notes to global news, professional advice, and guides on any topic. They have become a powerful tool for self-expression, communication, and even business. Can you imagine that what started as a hobby has grown into a way to shape public opinion and the flow of information? Gorilla. Funny name or serious science? Who would have thought that one of the largest and most majestic animals on the planet bears such a funny scientific name? The western lowland gorilla is classified as gorilla. In biology, binomial nomenclature is used to classify species, and the repetition of the name here emphasizes the uniqueness of this particular subspecies. While it may sound amusing, for scientists, it's standard practice. Such naming helps to precisely identify species, avoiding confusion with other subspecies. So next time you see a gorilla, you can jokingly refer to its official scientific name. Did you know that 1 in 8 Americans has worked at McDonald's for at least a few days? This is quite an interesting fact, as the fast food chain is not only one of the largest in the world, but also a true training ground for young workers. Many celebrities and successful business people started their careers at McDonald's, illustrating the importance of having a stepping stone in a large corporation. So if you've ever worked there, you're not alone. It's a rite of passage for many. Can you imagine the world's smallest frog is less than 1 centimeter long? The world's smallest frog, Paedophryne amoensis, hails from Papua New Guinea and measures just 7.7 millimeters. That's less than 1 centimeter. Weighing only 1/100th of a gram, this tiny amphibian blends into the forest floor and feeds on small insects. Despite its minuscule size, its loud insect-like call makes it one of the most unique creatures in the rainforest. Did you know that there are cities in the United States named after European capitals like Paris, Moscow, Berlin, and St. Petersburg? This is an interesting feature, as the early settlers in America often sought to bring parts of their native culture to the New World by naming places after the Old World. For instance, cities named Paris and Berlin in many U.S. states have become symbols of the old European traditions carried over to New America. Why exactly does Netherland have a law against dying? This quirky situation in Colorado stems from a history that seems almost straight out of a comedy. In the town of Netherland, it's said to be illegal to die, a law that sparks both laughter and intrigue. It all began during an unusual attempt to preserve a local man's body in a frozen state, which led the town to declare itself a territory for immortals. While no one can truly enforce such a law, it serves as a humorous draw for tourists and locals alike. Many are curious about this odd piece of legislation and the story behind it. Locals joke that they'll simply never kick the bucket, adding to the town's whimsical charm. This peculiar tradition not only reflects the community's lighthearted spirit, but also attracts visitors eager to hear about the frozen resident who started it all. So, if you ever find yourself in Netherland, don't forget to smile at the strange law. It's a reminder that sometimes humor can be found in the most unexpected places. Hard to believe, but the sun makes noise, and we can hear it. Although space is silent in the usual sense, Scientists have found a way to hear the sun using special instruments. The sound of the sun is produced by vibrations on its surface and inner layers, caused by thermal processes. Scientists have converted these vibrations into sounds that we can hear. If you could listen to the sun, it would sound like a low, humming noise. These solar vibrations help astrophysicists study the sun's internal structure, predict solar flares, and understand the processes happening in its core. Organic food, truth or myth about its benefits? Research shows that there is no significant difference between organic and conventional foods in terms of nutritional value. While many believe that organic products are healthier and taste better, science doesn't support major distinctions. Some studies have also found no notable differences in taste. However, people often choose organic foods for lower pesticide levels and more eco-friendly farming practices. When choosing between organic and conventional, it's up to each person to decide what matters most: taste or caring for the planet. Why sloths are so slow? A metabolic mystery. Sloths are so slow that even their digestion can take weeks. They can take up to 30 days to digest a single leaf. This slow metabolism helps them survive in environments where food is scarce. Sloths live in the treetops of tropical forests, moving so slowly that algae grow on their fur, camouflaging them into their surroundings. This disguise helps protect them from predators like eagles and jaguars. Thanks to their laziness, they use very little energy, making them true masters of energy conservation in nature. Why Washington, D.C. has no skyscrapers? Washington, District of Columbia, is a city with a unique skyline. There are no skyscrapers. This is because of the Height of Buildings Act of 1910, which limits building heights to ensure that no structure can overshadow the Capitol or the Washington Monument. As a result, the city has a distinct, low-rise architectural style that preserves its historic charm and keeps the monuments visible from almost anywhere in the city. Johnny Appleseed, the man who planted apples not for food. Many of us have heard the legend of Johnny Appleseed, whose real name was John Chapman. This famous gardener didn't just plant apple trees across America. His goal was much more interesting. He planted trees not for the apples to be eaten, but to produce cider. In the early 19th century, apples were mainly used to make this alcoholic drink, and Johnny Appleseed became a hero among cider lovers. Knowing this story, each glass of apple cider will feel a bit more historical. Did you know that the oldest tattoo is over 5,000 years old? In 1991, archaeologists discovered a mummy known as Ötzi in the Alps. Ötzi is around 5,300 years old, and on his body they found 61 tattoos, mostly lines and crosses. These tattoos may have been used to relieve pain, as they are located near acupuncture points. It's fascinating to think that ancient civilizations used tattoos not just for decoration, but also for healing purposes. You won't believe how The Matrix changed fashion. In the late 1990s, the release of The Matrix was more than just a groundbreaking film. It sparked a complete fashion revolution. The movie's distinctive cyberpunk aesthetic, which featured sleek black leather coats, combat boots, and oversized sunglasses, quickly captured the imagination of audiences around the world. Suddenly, everyday fashion shifted as people began gravitating toward that edgy high-tech look. The iconic characters, especially Neo and Trinity, became style icons, inspiring a legion of fans to imitate their bold outfits. This wave of influence reached beyond the screen into everyday life, affecting not only streetwear, but also high-fashion runways. Designers started to incorporate these futuristic elements, blending them with traditional styles. It was like a digital renaissance, merging tech and fashion in a way that felt revolutionary. This connection even echoed in various subcultures from goths to skaters who embraced the Matrix vibe, making its style a defining mark of the decade. So the next time you see someone in a black leather coat and sunglasses, you might just be witnessing the lasting impact of a film that changed the fashion game forever. Did you know Vin Diesel loves Dungeons and Dragons? It's hard to picture the tough guy from action movies like Fast and Furious sitting around a table rolling dice. But that's exactly what he does. Vin Diesel isn't just a Hollywood superstar, He's a passionate gamer who has embraced the world of D&D for more than 2 decades. His love for the game started in his childhood and has flourished since then. In interviews, Diesel has shared stories about how playing Dungeons & Dragons helped shape his imagination and creativity. He's not just a casual player either. He dives deep into the role-playing experience, crafting characters and stories that thrill him and his friends. His enthusiasm for gaming even influenced his work, inspiring some of the roles he's taken on. So next time you see him in a high-octane action scene, remember, behind the muscle and grit, there's a devoted gamer who knows the magic of a good story and the adventure of teamwork, just like in a classic D&D campaign. Did you know that American strength lies not only in its economy, but also in its geography? Imagine the United States as a country whose geography is perfectly suited for global dominance. Unlike many nations that must fight for every square inch of land, Americans can control 2 oceans due to their unique position. This makes the U.S. invulnerable to invasions and allows dominance in global trade. How have they leveraged this advantage? The U.S. has used its geography to establish strategically important maritime routes and exploit them to its benefit. For instance, by utilizing the seaway across 2 oceans, they control a significant portion of world trade. Contrary to everything, dark matter is actually invisible. Dark matter doesn't interact with light, so it cannot be seen directly. However, scientists know about its existence through indirect signs. It affects the rotation speed of galaxies and bends light around them. This mysterious substance makes up more than 80% of the universe's mass, but it remains one of the biggest mysteries of modern space science. Turns out there are bridges that speak. In some places, such as the Millennium Bridge in London, special plates emit sounds when people walk on them. These sounds are designed to resemble whispers or voices, creating a unique atmosphere. Especially at night, such a bridge becomes a real attraction, drawing tourists with its mystical sounds. It turns out that hippos secrete bloody sweat to protect themselves from the sun. Hippos' skin produces a special reddish liquid that acts as sunscreen and has antiseptic properties. This bloody sweat not only protects hippos from harmful UV rays, but also helps heal wounds. In the wild, this feature makes hippos true survival experts, who have found an amazing way to shield themselves from the sun. Did you know that the U.S. seized Panama for the canal? In 1903, when Panama was still part of Colombia, the U.S. engaged in a real political maneuvering. On November 4th, an uprising broke out in Panama, and the U.S. Navy blocked Colombian forces from suppressing the revolt. Just 2 days later, on November 6th, the U.S. recognized Panama's independence. Soon after, a treaty was signed granting the U.S. control over the Panama Canal, as well as the right to station troops in Panama and construct the canal. In exchange, the U.S. paid $10 million and an annual rent of $250,000. The canal opened new trade routes, but most importantly, provided the U.S. with a strategic advantage, allowing for rapid military deployment between oceans. Can you believe North Korea runs on cash? In this isolated nation, credit cards and online transactions are complete no-shows, making cash the king of the economy. Most North Koreans rely on physical money for their day-to-day purchases, creating a unique financial landscape. The national currency, known as the North Korean won, unfortunately has no traction on the global market, which leads many people to favor more stable currencies like the US dollar or Chinese yuan. Imagine navigating your life without the convenience of electronic payments. That's a typical day for many in North Korea. The absence of a digital banking system reflects not only the country's restrictions, but also its approach to external influences, keeping their economic practices tightly under wraps. For those who are a part of the daily grind in North Korea, this cash-only system is simply how things work. While this might sound daunting to us, it's just the norm over there. Like shopping in a foreign land where bank transactions come straight out of your pocket. Why are trees in Poland mysteriously bent? In the crooked forest near the village of Gryfino in Poland, there are trees with mysterious curved trunks. Their bend begins almost at the roots, and the trees grow at an angle before straightening up. The exact reasons for this bend are unknown, and there are many theories from human intervention to natural anomalies. The Crooked Forest has become a popular tourist destination, drawing travelers eager to solve this natural mystery. Ever thought about visiting North Korea? If you're daydreaming about a trip to the mysterious land of North Korea, prepare for a surprising journey even before you pack your bags. This country is known for being one of the most closed-off places on Earth, which means getting a visa is not just a walk in the park. In fact, the process can feel a bit like an elaborate puzzle. First off, most travelers cannot enter North Korea freely. They must go through an approved tour guide or agency. You can't just hop on a plane and land wherever you please. The government keeps tight control over the travel process, so visitors are usually only allowed in designated areas, and you will be closely monitored during your stay. The visa application itself involves a lot of paperwork, including a detailed itinerary and sometimes even personal information. Unlike other countries where a simple application can get you a visa quickly, here patience and precision are key. But for those adventurers willing to embrace the challenge, the reward is a glimpse into a world that feels like it hasn't changed in decades. You won't believe it. Blood only lives for 120 days. Imagine that your red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body, live for just 120 days. This is literally one of the wonders of our body. Old cells are recycled in the liver and spleen, while new ones are born in the bone marrow, ready to continue their vital mission. This constant process of renewal allows your body to function seamlessly. It's amazing how our body manages this cycle, maintaining the stable operation of all organs without us even thinking about its complexity. Step back in time to ancient Rome's fierce gladiators. In the bustling heart of the Roman Empire, where the Colosseum echoed with cheers and roars, gladiators were more than just fighters. They were trained warriors who honed their skills in special schools known as ludi. These schools were run by expert trainers called lanistas, who meticulously crafted the gladiators' abilities, preparing them for the brutal arena battles that captivated audiences. Imagine the early mornings at these training grounds, where the air was thick with the sound of clashing swords and the shouts of eager trainers. Gladiators practiced relentlessly, mastering techniques not only in combat but also in teamwork, as they often fought alongside each other in pairs or groups. The ludi were places of discipline and endurance, where the fighters learned to withstand both physical pain and psychological pressure. While they were often seen as mere entertainers, these warriors led complex lives, forming bonds with their trainers and fellow fighters, and sometimes even becoming celebrities of their time. The life of a gladiator was harsh, but through rigorous training, they became symbols of bravery and skill, forever etched in history. Did you know ancient Romans mastered 3 key skills? In ancient Rome, education for the elite wasn't just about reading and writing. It revolved around 3 essential arts: grammar, rhetoric, and logic. Grammar was all about mastering language, helping students understand how to communicate clearly and effectively. Imagine learning to construct sentences that make people sit up and pay attention. Then there was rhetoric, the art of persuasion, which taught them how to sway opinions and win arguments through powerful speeches. This skill was crucial because public speaking was a big part of Roman life, especially in politics and law. And let's not forget logic, the study of reasoning. It trained minds to think critically, analyze arguments, and spot flaws in reasoning. Together, these 3 arts formed a foundation for educated Romans, allowing them to be influential leaders, persuasive speakers, and sharp thinkers. It's fascinating how these skills laid the groundwork for modern education and are still relevant today. So next time you write or debate, remember you're continuing a tradition that goes back to the heart of ancient Rome. Uncover the mystery of secret staircases in Italy. Did you know that secret staircases were built into Italian houses? In the enchanting cities of Venice and Florence, wealthy aristocrats constructed homes featuring these hidden passages as a means of escape in times of danger. These staircases, cleverly concealed within the walls, often led to secret rooms or safe exits, providing an intriguing glimpse into how people protected themselves during turbulent times. Today, many of these unique architectural treasures still exist, captivating explorers and tourists alike. Imagine wandering through the narrow, winding streets and suddenly discovering the entrance to a hidden staircase. Visitors find themselves drawn to the allure of these mysterious structures, which seem to whisper stories of the past. Each staircase offers a glimpse into a world where safety and secrecy were paramount. As you explore Italy, keep your eyes peeled for these hidden gems, and who knows, perhaps you'll stumble upon a secret staircase of your own. Did you know that Great Britain was not always an island? Great Britain is an island nation that comprises 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. However, it wasn't always an island. About 88,000 years ago, before the Ice Age, the land that is now Great Britain was part of the continent. It was only after rising sea levels separated the land that Great Britain became an island. This process was a result of climate change and altered the entire geography of the region. This might sound crazy, but the mantis shrimp punches harder than a bullet. The mantis shrimp may look like a colorful reef dweller, but it packs one of the most powerful punches in the animal kingdom. Its club-like limb accelerates at 23 meters per second, faster than a .22 caliber bullet, and delivers over 10,000 G of force. When it strikes, it not only smashes shells, but also creates cavitation bubbles that collapse with a second explosive hit, producing shock waves, heat, and even light. The limb's structure includes a saddle-shaped energy-storing mechanism, which scientists now study to develop resilient materials for body armor in aerospace. Aquarium glass has cracked under its blows. It's not just brute strength, it's precision engineering perfected over millions of years. With explosive power and mind-blowing speed, the mantis shrimp is one of nature's deadliest biomechanical weapons. Guess what the real reason is behind the naked mole rat's superpowers? Naked mole rats are more than quirky, wrinkled rodents. They're evolutionary superheroes. Living underground in eusocial colonies, they defy mammalian norms with insect-like organization. A queen does all the breeding while others work or defend the nest. But their real superpowers lie in biology. They're immune to many forms of pain, resistant to cancer, and can survive up to 18 minutes without oxygen. Their bodies produce unique proteins that suppress tumors and prevent cells from crowding, a natural barrier against cancer. They live 10 times longer than other rodents their size, showing little age-related decline. Scientists are studying them to understand aging, cancer resistance, and low oxygen survival, unlocking secrets that could transform human health. In the darkness of their tunnels, these odd creatures quietly guard the keys to longevity. Did you know that the first frozen dinner was created in 1953? Imagine this. The frozen dinners we're so used to were once a culinary breakthrough. In 1953, Swanson introduced a frozen meal styled after a Thanksgiving dinner. This meal was in response to the need for quick meal preparation, and since then, frozen foods have become a staple of our diets. Today, the variety of frozen meals is staggering, from pizzas to exotic delicacies. Just think how a simple solution for leftover food turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry that has transformed our eating habits. The spring equinox. More than just a change of seasons. The first day of spring is known as the vernal equinox. The term vernal comes from the Latin word for spring, while equinox means equal night in Latin. During this time, day and night are nearly equal in length. An interesting fact, according to a study on Facebook, spring is the season when couples are most likely to break up. Perhaps the balance of day and night encourages people to seek new beginnings. Who knew that an astronomical event could have an impact on our personal lives? Infinite combinations, a deck of cards in the vastness of the universe. The number of ways to shuffle a standard 52-card deck is mind-blowing. This figure is known as the factorial of 52 and equals a number with 60 zeros. This means that every time you shuffle a deck, you are likely creating a combination that has never existed before and will never be repeated. So next time you play cards, remember, you have a whole universe of possibilities in your hands. How would you react if you found out there is an underwater museum in Greece? In the Aegean Sea near the coast of Greece, there is a unique underwater museum. This archaeological site allows visitors to dive with scuba gear and explore ancient shipwrecks and artifacts lying on the seabed. It is the first underwater museum of its scale and attracts both history enthusiasts and divers from around the world. How about this? The discovery of DNA changed science forever. In 1953, scientists James Watson and Francis Crick made a revolutionary discovery when they presented the structure of DNA. This monumental achievement revealed the double helix structure of DNA, the very building block of life. Their discovery unlocked the secrets of heredity and laid the foundation for countless advances in genetics and medicine. It forever changed our understanding of life itself, paving the way for genetic therapies and innovations we use today. Why does Japan have an island inhabited only by rabbits? On Okinoshima, known as Rabbit Island, hundreds of fluffy bunnies roam freely, feeling like the rightful rulers of the place. Originally, rabbits were brought here for scientific experiments during World War II. After the war ended, they were released and their population grew rapidly. Now tourists from all over the world come to play and feed these friendly animals. Cats and dogs are prohibited on the island to protect the rabbit population, turning it into a true paradise for animal lovers. Did you know that bats can see with sound? While many creatures rely on vision, bats have mastered a different sense, echolocation, to thrive in complete darkness. They emit high-frequency sound waves, usually beyond human hearing, which bounce off nearby objects. By measuring the time delay and frequency shift of the returning echoes, bats construct a mental map of their surroundings with extraordinary precision. Some species process more than 100 echoes per second, adjusting their wing beats and flight path in real time to track even the tiniest insect midair. Their brains are wired to convert sound into spatial imagery, essentially allowing them to see with their ears. This remarkable adaptation has evolved independently in different bat families, showcasing nature's ingenuity. Throughout history, bats have been wrapped in myth, seen as omens or vampires. But in reality, they are marvels of bioacoustics and a source of inspiration for modern sonar and radar technologies. Astronauts don't float in zero gravity like we think. Many people believe that astronauts experience total weightlessness in space, but that's a common misconception. In reality, they are constantly falling toward Earth, but at such a high speed that they never crash into it. This continuous fall gives them the feeling of being weightless, a fantastic example of how the laws of physics turn space into a magical realm of floating. Did you know that monarch butterflies undertake one of the longest migrations on Earth? These amazing insects travel thousands of kilometers each year, migrating from Mexico to the United States and Canada. What's even more incredible is that this journey takes place over several generations. Monarch butterflies begin their migration, lay eggs, and the next generation continues the journey. This incredible relay across generations transforms their migration into a dance that transcends borders, a true wonder of nature. Did you know that the whale shark is the largest fish in the world? Whale sharks can grow up to 12 meters long, making them the largest fish on the planet. Despite their immense size, these gentle giants feed mainly on plankton and tiny organisms. They filter massive amounts of water daily through their enormous mouths. Don't worry though, whale sharks are completely harmless to humans and can even be quite friendly if you ever encounter them in the ocean. Believe it or not, the most popular name in the UK is Mohammed. Just like around the world, it ranks first among male names in the UK. Among the most popular female names are Lily, Sophia, Olivia, Amelia, and Ava. Additionally, over 30,000 men in England share the name John Smith. The UK is also home to many notable figures, such as James Ratcliffe, the richest man in the country, and Denise Coates, the richest woman, who runs the largest online casino. Did you know about Hawaii's Lost Kingdom attempt? In 1870, a bold group of Americans made a surprising move by trying to establish the Kingdom of Hawaii, seeking independence from the United States. This ambitious plan reflected their desire for self-governance and a different future for the islands. The leaders aimed to capitalize on Hawaii's unique culture and resources, thinking it would thrive separately from U.S. control. However, despite their enthusiasm and plans, the effort faced significant challenges, including local opposition and political complications. Fast forward to 1898, and Hawaii's fate took a different turn when it officially became a U.S. territory. This move dramatically altered the island's future, integrating them into a broader national framework and paving the way for Hawaii's eventual statehood. The fascinating history of Hawaii's independence attempt showcases the complex interplay of power, culture, and identity during a transformative period in American history. How might things have been different if they had succeeded? Could this really be possible? Electric eels zap with 600 volts. Electric eels, native to South America's murky Amazon waters, aren't actually eels but knife fish, and they've evolved one of the most extraordinary hunting adaptations: electric shock. They can generate bursts of up to 600 volts using stacks of electrocytes, specialized cells that act like biological batteries. By rapidly discharging these cells, the eel stuns prey or fends off threats. Incredibly, they can modulate the intensity and frequency of their shocks, using weaker pulses for navigation and communication, and stronger ones to immobilize prey. Some even emit double shocks to reveal hiding prey in mud. Indigenous tribes respected them as both dangerous and mystical creatures. Today, electric eel physiology is inspiring bioengineers to create soft, flexible energy sources for medical implants and underwater devices. They're not just predators. They're living power plants swimming through history and science alike. Did you know the world's most isolated tree was located in the middle of the Sahara? In the vast expanse of the Sahara Desert, there once stood a legendary tree known as the Tree of Tenere. This solitary acacia was the only tree for miles around and served as an essential landmark for travelers. The tree was about 300 years old and survived the harsh desert conditions by tapping into underground water. Sadly, its story came to a tragic end in 1973 when it was accidentally knocked down by a truck. Today, the Tree of Tenere is preserved in a museum, a symbol of nature's resilience and the dangers of the desert. Did you know the Hawaiian alphabet has only 12 letters? The Hawaiian alphabet is one of the most unique in the world, consisting of just 5 vowels, E, A, E, I, O, U, and 7 consonants, H, K, L, M, N, P, W. This minimalist alphabet forms the foundation of one of the most musical and melodious languages. It reflects the simplicity and beauty of Hawaiian culture, harmonizing with the breathtaking landscapes of the islands. Next time you're in Hawaii, impress your friends with your knowledge of this linguistic island paradise. The secret of the creosote bush's longevity. In the Mojave Desert, one of the driest places on Earth, a creosote bush over 11,000 years old still grows. It's the oldest living thing on Earth, having survived entire civilizations. It grows in a ring shape, with each new sprout slowly replacing the older ones, creating an unbroken connection to past generations. Thanks to its incredible ability to survive in extreme conditions, this bush has become a symbol of resilience and longevity. The creosote bush reminds us that nature can withstand almost anything if left undisturbed. It sounds unbelievable, but snow can keep you warm. You wouldn't expect frozen water to save you from freezing, but that's exactly what snow does inside an igloo. Though cold to the touch, snow is a great insulator because it traps air. When Inuit people shape blocks of compressed snow into domes, those blocks form a network of air pockets that slow heat loss. Even in Arctic temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius or colder, the inside of an igloo can rise to 0 degrees Celsius or above with just body heat and a candle. It's not warm by tropical standards, but it's a life-saving difference. The science is simple but brilliant. Air conducts heat poorly, and snow, being mostly air, becomes a shield. For centuries, the igloo has been a shelter of survival, a masterpiece of indigenous engineering built entirely from what nature provides in the harshest environment on Earth. This might surprise you. Route 66 is full of wonders. This iconic highway, often called the Main Street of America, stretches over 2,400 miles and offers a truly unique road trip experience. As you drive along, you'll encounter quirky attractions like the Cadillac Ranch in Texas, where 10 classic Cadillacs are artfully buried nose first in the ground, an unforgettable sight for any traveler. Then there's the famous Blue Whale in Oklahoma, a giant sculpture that invites visitors to take pictures and explore its cool waters. But it's not just the oddities that make Route 66 special. Stunning landscapes also create a breathtaking backdrop. Just imagine marveling at the Grand Canyon's vast beauty, which offers jaw-dropping views and exhilarating hiking opportunities. Whether you stop to snap a photo with the Cadillac Ranch or take in the canyon's grandeur, the journey along Route 66 is a blend of history, art, and nature. So what are you waiting for? Hit the road and experience it for yourself. What lies at the bottom of the ocean? The Challenger, deep in the Mariana Trench, takes us to the very depths of our planet, plunging a staggering 3,670 feet, or about 10,194 meters below the surface. To put that into perspective, if you dropped Mount Everest into this chasm, its peak would still be over a mile underwater. This incredible depth is not just a mystery, but a realm of extremes. The pressure there is over 1,000 times that of sea level, making it a harsh environment where few organisms can thrive. Yet life finds a way. Creatures like the mysterious amphipod and unique gelatinous species can survive in these conditions, relying on chemosynthesis or specialized adaptations. Exploring this deep abyss is challenging. Only a handful of manned and unmanned missions have ventured there, revealing astonishing insights about biodiversity and geological processes. Though it feels alien, the Challenger Deep plays a crucial role in Earth's climate and oceanic systems. So the next time you think about the ocean, remember there's a hidden world far below, just waiting to be discovered. Why do leaves turn red and yellow in the fall? When autumn comes, trees turn off photosynthesis. During this process, the green pigment, chlorophyll, breaks down, and other pigments, carotenoids and anthocyanins, reveal themselves in yellow and red hues. It's like nature putting on a colorful show. Interestingly, the cooler and sunnier the autumn, the brighter these colors will be. Have you ever realized that this is nature's magical performance happening right before your eyes? Can you imagine that some flowers eat mice? This isn't science fiction, it's reality. There are carnivorous plants, such as the nepenthes or pitcher plants, that can trap and digest not only insects but also small animals like mice. These plants secrete sweet nectar to lure their prey, and once the animal falls into the pitcher, it can't escape. The plant world is far more cunning and mysterious than it seems. Why did paper money originate in China? Paper money appeared in ancient China in the 8th century. Initially, it consisted of banknotes certifying the storage of a certain amount of money in coins or gold ingots. This innovation was driven by the need to simplify trade and accelerate financial transactions. In Europe, paper money emerged only several centuries later. Did you know the term cow is often used incorrectly? The term cow technically refers only to a female cattle that has given birth to at least one calf. A female that has not yet had a calf is properly called a heifer. Male cattle are called bulls. This term is often used incorrectly in everyday conversation when referring to cattle in general. The next time you speak about cows, remember that there are many nuances to the term, depending on the animal's sex and age. Is it true that there is a bridge in China that only glows during a full moon? In Guizhou province, there is a bridge called the Moonlight Bridge, which becomes visible only under the light of the full moon. This bridge is made from a special material that reflects moonlight, creating the illusion that it glows in the dark. Tourists plan their trips around full moons just to see this unusual phenomenon. The architects who designed the bridge were inspired by ancient Chinese legends of moon spirits, and now this bridge has become one of the most romantic spots in the region. The human nose, a super sensitive organ. The human nose is more than just a smell detector, it's a true sensory powerhouse. Scientists once thought that humans could only distinguish about 10,000 different smells, but recent research shows that we can actually detect up to 1 trillion distinct scents. This amazing discovery reveals just how complex and sensitive our sense of smell is. We can identify not only pleasant fragrances, but also warning smells like smoke or gas. The human nose is truly a superhero among the senses. Here's a wild fact about dragon fruit. This tropical treat, also known as pitahaya, boasts an appearance that looks like something straight out of a fantasy novel. With bright pink or yellow scales and green-tipped spikes, it's like Mother Nature caught a little creative spark. But the real magic happens when you slice it open. Inside, you'll discover a vibrant white or pink flesh, dotted with tiny black seeds, giving it a unique texture and an inviting look. The taste is mild and subtly sweet, making it perfect for smoothies, fruit salads, or just enjoying fresh on its own. Not only is dragon fruit visually stunning, but it also packs a punch when it comes to nutrition. It's low in calories and rich in vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants. Some even say it can help boost your immune system and promote healthy skin. Whether you're diving into one for the first time or adding it to a trendy dish, dragon fruit is sure to bring a splash of tropical joy to your day. Have you ever wondered why twins speak their own language? Around 40% of twins develop a fascinating phenomenon called cryptophagia, a private language made up of invented words, phrases, and even grammar that only they understand. This secret communication often begins in infancy, when twins spend so much time together that they start mirroring each other's early speech. These invented dialects can be rich and complex, often unintelligible to parents and outsiders. While the phenomenon usually fades once children are exposed to formal language in school, it offers a glimpse into how the human brain seeks to build structure and connection, even in isolation. Cryptophagia isn't just cute, it's a powerful demonstration of how language evolves socially and cognitively. In twins, we see an accelerated microcosm of linguistic invention that echoes the way entire human languages may have first formed. Can you imagine how long your blood vessels are? It might blow your mind to learn that the human body houses an incredible network of blood vessels stretching around 60,000 miles, or about 96,500 kilometers. That's nearly enough to wrap around the Earth's equator 2.5 times. These vessels include arteries, veins, and capillaries, all working tirelessly to maintain our health. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to every part of your body, while veins return the oxygen-poor blood back to the heart, and capillaries act as tiny bridges between the two. If you line them all up, they'd create a massive web that's not just impressive, but essential for life. This circulatory system helps transport nutrients, hormones, and waste, playing a critical role in keeping our bodies functioning smoothly. So next time you feel your heartbeat, remember that it's a signal of that vast network at work, silently and efficiently delivering what we need for survival. Surprisingly but true, the wave in Arizona attracts tourists from around the world with its unique natural formation. Located on the border with Utah, the wave is a remarkable sandstone feature that has become a symbol of natural beauty and stunning landscapes. This site is known for its wave-like rock structures, painted in vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. Travelers from across the globe visit to see this place, and many photographers consider it one of the most beautiful and photographed spots on Earth. Have you ever wondered what the Meteora in Greece hides in its history of fighting against invaders? Meteora consists of unique monasteries perched on high cliffs in Greece. They were built in the Middle Ages by monks who used this inaccessible and protected area as a refuge from Turkish invaders. To reach the monasteries, the monks had to create ladders and special ropes, and until 100 years ago, the only access was via rope ladders. Today, travelers can ascend via a cable car or treacherous stairs, yet they still feel the grandeur and historical power of this place. How would you react if you learned that Bagan in Myanmar is an entire ancient city with thousands of temples? Bagan is a true archaeological reserve with over 2,000 temples and pagodas built between the 9th and 13th centuries. This ancient city was the capital of a powerful kingdom and still holds many secrets and mysteries. Due to its historical and cultural significance, Bagan has become one of the top tourist destinations in Southeast Asia, attracting those who wish to immerse themselves in the atmosphere of the ancient world and explore its grandeur. It's hard to believe, but giraffes and humans have the same number of neck vertebrae. Despite the fact that a giraffe's neck is much longer, both giraffes and humans have the same number of neck vertebrae, 7. These bones provide support for the head and allow neck mobility. In giraffes, they are simply much longer than in humans. This fascinating fact highlights the amazing diversity of evolution and nature, despite the external differences between species.